one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my family. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dipper and ball man, I duck when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off for the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit, my game slider boosted. Ain't I don't have to prove shit. Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit, nigga. I know on these news clips. That's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch. Won't be around when they lose clips. Won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Yo, how is everybody doing out there? I hope everybody is having a dope night. Yo, my cousin just played me this rap track that he my cousin's a very interesting, I can't even speak. My cousin is a very interesting individual. That's my little homie, man. I'm trying to get this man on the right track. But very interesting that he want to be a rapper. I'm not going to talk to you about his raps right now at this moment. I'm going to let that stay between me and my cousin. Alright? Because he basically like a little brother to me. Alright? And we talk shit to each other religiously. But I'm going to keep my trash talk about his raps to myself. I just want to point out I couldn't hear not a word he said in one of his tracks, bro. Dead ass sounded like I was listening. The beat was doing all the singing because, bro, he was whispering on the whole track. I'm confused by that. I am puzzled, flabbergasted, flummoxed. All the words you could possibly think of. How dope was the day? That's what I want to know. I took my other little cousin shopping today. She had to get a whole bunch of things for school because, you know, school is back in tomorrow. Hey, shout out to everybody who starts school back. I know some college freshmen in college already started school. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like the elementary, middle, and high schoolers. And I know it's some schools that's already done started also, so shout out to them. But officially, everybody back in school Monday. So it's about to get very interesting. Traffic about to get crazy. Traffic is about to get crazy. But listen, we are here tonight to talk about, I just want to react to the top 100 list. I haven't even talked about the NFL top 100 list that they do on their channel every year. But the list is over. And I got some thoughts. First thought, not even dealing with this list. The Bills just released their punter, whose nickname was like the punt god. Because he had allegations of he and two other individuals, two of his two homies, I guess. He and two of his homies gang raping a young lady, allegedly. I guess it's also some reports that say allegedly it was a consensual thing between he and her. He drugged her, however, took her to a room allegedly where his two homeboys came in and gang raped her for an hour allegedly. The Bills have released him. I saw reports that said the Bills knew about this for a minute. I'm not going to get into all that right now. I don't know the full details on it and all that. But I will try to stay up on this story and do my research on it to talk about it. But what I will say about this story, because this is all allegations and whatnot, much like when the Deshaun Watson stuff happened, I did not talk about that really at all. I might have mentioned it once or twice just to say, like, yeah, I know what's going on. But I didn't talk about it until, like, late stages of it. And that's exactly what I'm going to let this thing do. I'm going to let the process play out. I'm going to let, you know what I'm saying, all the facts and as much as can come out about this case before I make my determination on it. Now, I will say this. If he is found guilty or things of this nature, I heard some people say he should be suspended and things like that nature. Only professional athletes can do shit like this, and people say, yes, suspend him. If the man is found guilty on this, he should be in prison. What are we talking about? But this is all allegations, so I know that this is going on. I'll speak on it more as the information come out later on. But I'm not going to be talking about that shit like every episode. That's not going to happen. The reason I just started talking about Deshaun Watson so much is because a lot more information and whatnot had came out. However, back to the NFL Top 100. So I'm not even going to get into the whole list, but I do want to point out a couple things because it's a couple things that I did look at and realize tonight. This is a very inconsistent list in my opinion for a couple reasons. But some of the rankings that I don't necessarily agree with is Myles Garrett at 11, because I think these dudes is ranked too low possibly. Myles Garrett at 11, Jalen Ramsey at 9, Derrick Henry at 12, Josh Allen at 13, Lamar Jackson at 36, Mark Andrews at 32, and Tyreek Hill at number 15. So the top 7 were Devontae Adams was number 7, TJ Watt was number 6, Jonathan Taylor was number 5, Cooper Kupp was number 4, Aaron Rodgers was number 3, Aaron Donald was number 2, Brady was number 1. Okay, I do not have a problem with 2 and 1. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that one out the way first. I do personally believe Aaron Donald should be the best player. He should be ranked number 1 because I personally believe Aaron Donald is the best player in the NFL. I think Aaron Donald is a force like anybody in NFL. For one, why does Madden keep making Aaron Donald the outside? Like, why do they keep making him a defensive end? The man is a defensive tackle. Like, why do they keep doing that shit on their games? Like, for the last 3 years, they continue to make him a defensive end. Aaron Donald plays outside sometimes. He is primarily a defensive tackle. I don't understand why they can. He is, when you look at him on the stat sheets, he is listed as a defensive tackle. Going into games, he is listed as a defensive tackle. NFL players and NFL analysts talk about him as a defensive tackle. Madden continue to make this man a defensive lineman, but that's neither here nor there. Madden's an atrocious game. However, I personally would have had Aaron Donald number 1. But the more and more I think about it, I'm not necessarily mad that they had Tom Brady number 1. For one, the fact that Brady is doing what he is doing at this age is fucking crazy. That's 1. 2, the fact, bro, it's just Tom Brady is the perfect quarterback in my opinion. No, he don't have the speed, and yes, I would like to me he was what the perfect quarterback was for so long, because I do think you would need speed. To me, Patrick Mahomes is now my thoughts. Like when I look at what the new perfect quarterback is, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen get as close to it as is possibly, like as close to the perfect quarterback of this new generation as I've seen out of any other quarterback. And we'll get into that later, but I don't have a problem with Brady being number 1, because while I don't think he is better than Aaron Donald right now, and it's going to sound a little bit inconsistent based off of what I'm going to say later, but I'm not mad at them giving Brady seniority, because how many GOATs of an industry, how many GOATs in sports get to play this long and be this great this long? Like, this is absolutely fucking crazy. Not to mention, I would have rated Brady number 2. That's the biggest reason I'm not going to have a problem with it, because on my list, if I was ranking the top players in the NFL, Brady would have been number 2, Donald would have been number 1. So the fact that they put Brady number 1, I'm not really mad at that, because Brady's the motherfucker almost took Aaron Donald and them boys out of the playoffs, came back and almost beat them. So I'm not, and I said this on Twitter. The only player, because one of my biggest problems with the list is Pat Mahomes being ranked number 8. I don't like that. I didn't mention his ranking when I was mentioning them other rankings, but Pat Mahomes is my biggest problem with this list. Well, him and Lamar Jackson. But Pat Mahomes really is what made me make this video, because I wasn't going to make a video about Lamar because I done said it all. But then I saw where they ranked Pat Mahomes, and I kind of have a problem with that, because while I don't necessarily, I'll get to that when I get to Pat. I just know it'll sound like I'm giving some inconsistency when I talk about Pat. But when it comes to Brady, when you look at what he done, you look at the fact that he really is the only dude that beats Pat Mahomes. Like, without Brady, Pat Mahomes probably got 2 Super Bowls. Or 3. Pat Mahomes probably got 3 Super Bowls if not for Tom Brady. And Joe Burrow stopped him from getting to the Super Bowl this year, but Brady has been the biggest thorn in his side of his whole career. To me, look at all the different greats Brady done had to fend off to remain the GOAT. You can argue it, but the fact of the matter is, when we thought Peyton was the better, and for a long time, I continuously said Peyton was better than Brady. He eventually won that matchup. The time when the new guy came, Aaron Rodgers, everybody kept talking about Aaron Rodgers. He went to the division. He went over to the same conference as Aaron Rodgers and been beating Aaron Rodgers ever since. People talked about him and Pat Mahomes. He was over there in the AFC, beating Pat Mahomes. Got to the NFC, beat Pat Mahomes in a Super Bowl. Like, Brady is generational. I don't even know if generational it could even sum up what Brady is at this point. So I don't have a single problem with them putting Brady where they put him, especially since I was going to put him number 2 anyways. But I do want to run over to this Pat Mahomes one, because having Pat Mahomes ranked number 8 is just wild to me. For one, Pat Mahomes would have been number 3 on my rankings. It would have been Aaron Donald, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes. I don't know how you can look at that last season and say to yourself, oh yeah, Pat Mahomes was so bad last year that he is the 8th best player. The people that they have, as soon as they released the Pat Mahomes one, I was like, I want to see who over him. Because I already knew 3 people who they would have possibly over him. Donald and Brady I knew were going to be ranked over Pat Mahomes. And then I said they could possibly have him ranked under Aaron Rodgers also. Davante Adams, TJ Watt, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp are not better than Aaron Donald. Than Pat Mahomes. And should not. I don't even care about better. Pat Mahomes is to me, I understand when you talk about the best quarterback. Some people will use Aaron Rodgers MVP trophies. I could care less about those to a certain extent. I'm not numb. I'm not like, saying, oh, the MVPs don't matter. I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm taking into account not only the season and how they play in the season, but the postseason also the last couple years. Pat Mahomes, in my opinion, is the second best quarterback in football. Is the best quarterback in football. And the only reason I be putting Brady over him is because of seniority and things of that nature. But it's because I would take Brady in a Super Bowl over Pat Mahomes. When I break down every situation on what matters to me, the most important one is, who do I want as my quarterback in a Super Bowl? I would take Brady over every single quarterback that has ever played in the NFL, and it's not even close. For that reason, and because Brady haven't shown me that he just some washed up quarterback, I would put Pat Mahomes under Brady and rank him as the second best quarterback in the NFL. If you gave me an opportunity to draft right now based off of them right now, yeah, obviously I would draft Pat Mahomes because he's younger. But I do think in a scenario of I want a Super Bowl quarterback, you could take him or Pat. I'm taking Brady every fucking time. I'm not taking Pat Mahomes. I'm not taking TJ Watt, Davante Adams, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp over Pat Mahomes in any type of draft. Based off of this year, the year before, what I think they're going to do coming up, like, it's no way Pat Mahomes should have been ranked as number. And I know some people think, it's still in the top 10. I understand that. But I also understand what Pat Mahomes means to the Chiefs is far more than what Davante Adams, TJ Watt, and Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp mean to their teams. And I'm not minimizing their value to their teams. They are very much valuable to their teams. However, to say Pat Mahomes is ranked below those dudes is in-fucking-sane. Because you take him off of that team, that's a completely different Chiefs team. And completely different Chiefs team. And since we're talking about Pat Mahomes, I would also like to amend something I done said in a previous video. When I was predicting the AFC West, I think that the Chiefs are winning that division. Because at the end of the day, the best quarterback in that division, I know everybody want to crown Justin Herbert the best quarterback. He's not the best quarterback in that division. Pat Mahomes is still very much. I don't know if it's like when people see greatness so often, people done just got numb to Pat Mahomes' greatness or something. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Because there's no shot that you think that if you give people an opportunity to draft these players, it's no shot these dudes is getting taken over Pat Mahomes. It's just no way. So and then when you, like I said, when you look at the winning, the value these guys have to their teams. Obviously, Davante Adams was a huge value with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, TJ Watt was valuable to the Steelers. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor was valuable to a Colts team that basically said, yeah, we don't want Carson throwing the ball. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is valuable to the Rams. We saw the play he made against the Bucs that basically got them to the next round. The only two players in the NFL, in my opinion, possibly three, that are of more value to their teams than Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson is Tom Brady, Aaron Donald, and Aaron Rodgers. Those are the only dudes I can argue have more value to their teams than Pat Mahomes. And even then, I could make an argument that Pat Mahomes is of more value to his team than those other dudes. So Pat Mahomes being ranked at number 8 just really is crazy to me. Like, I really don't... It would be hard for somebody... I'm going to be honest with you. TJ Watt, to me, being ranked in the top 10 is crazy. I think TJ Watt is a stud. I absolutely think TJ Watt is a stud. I would not have ranked TJ Watt over Myles Garrett. What Myles Garrett is doing is exactly what TJ Watt doing, except for he a defensive lineman and TJ Watt played off the line at linebacker. So technically while you can double team him, he can also get a chip block from and chip blocks and all that. I'm not saying it's easier, but Myles Garrett can literally be doubled and tripled off just as soon as he take his hand out of the dirt to try to make a play. So and that's just a personal opinion, because I think TJ Watt I would have put TJ Watt at number 11 and put Myles Garrett at number 6. Oh yeah, because I don't want to be disrespectful to no players, but I'm not one of them motherfuckers who just gonna tell you that I think dudes should have been rated higher. I'm telling you exactly who I would have switched them out with. Jalen Ramsey being rated at number 9 was almost cool with me. Like, I almost was fine with it, because this is one of the things about certain players. When you are the absolute best at your position, and your position is of high value, like it's a super important position, and you the best at that position, not only are you the best and it's a super valuable position, but you're not in a league full of everybody else that's playing your position that you in competition with are not scrubs. It's a shit ton of great cornerbacks in the NFL right now. Jair Alexander, Tre'Davious White, Marlon Humphrey, Denzel Ward. It is a shit ton of great J.C. Jackson. Like, it's so Bradbury. It's so many great cornerbacks. So it ain't like Jalen Ramsey going out there competing against nobodies and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? He is it's a lot of great cornerbacks out there. And to me, Jalen Ramsey has no equal at that position right now. Jalen Ramsey is so far, the gap between him and second, and I'm not quite sure at this point who I think the second best cornerback in the NFL is. Sometimes I think it's Jair. Sometimes I think it's Tre'Davious White. If you don't watch Tre'Davious, you really got to go watch Tre'Davious White. Might have been a little bit rated too low on this list to me too. But Tre'Davious White is such a fucking stud. But it's a lot of great cornerbacks, so it's hard for me to say who I really think the second best cornerback in the NFL is. Oh, I want to shout out I'm not finna be hating on Buddy over there in Dallas. Diggs, not Stephon, Trayvon Diggs. I think Trayvon Diggs is a phenomenal corner, and what you can do with him is, because he got such great ball skills already, you can teach him the other shit. You can teach him to be more patient and understand when and when not to bite on certain routes and things like that. What you cannot teach is his ability to attack the ball like he do already. His ability to catch the ball, his ball instincts. You can't teach that type shit. So I don't understand why people hate great players and people who have great seasons so much. Maybe it's because he a Dallas Cowboy. I really don't understand it. I think Trayvon Diggs is a phenomenal player. I would love to have him on the Baltimore Ravens. So I never understand the hate that this man get. It's like the man have a great season and everybody start to hate the man. It's just unbelievable. But it's hard for me to say who I think. I might even would have put Trayvon. Because I'm a football purist, I believe I wouldn't put him at number 2, because I'm not, for one, just one great season by Trey not going to have me put him number 2, but I would have put him in the top 5, even if it's at 5, because of the great. I don't think some people realize how hard it is to get that many interceptions. That's why I never understood why people rode with Darrelle Revis when he was hating on Richard Sherman, because he was so very clearly hating on Richard Sherman. Like, so very clearly hating on Richard Sherman. And Richard Sherman got all those interceptions on a yearly basis, and people was making it seem like, oh yeah, anybody can do it. Well, Darrelle Revis is as good as y'all say he is. Why he didn't get those type of interceptions? Like, it's so wild to me that people think that ball skills like that just exist. Like, anybody can have them. You know, a dude get that type of interceptions and, oh yeah, anybody could have did it. Some of your favorite cornerbacks didn't have those type of ball skills. The reason they say Deion is the greatest of all time, because he had all of those skills. He could do man, he could do zone, he could pick you off, he could take the ball from the other team. Like, I don't understand why people think that's just a skill everybody randomly possesses. Because as much as motherfuckers like to get on, and I love Darrelle Revis. I think Darrelle Revis is one of the greatest cornerbacks I've seen in my lifetime. I wouldn't rank him over Richard Sherman because I think Richard Sherman was just as dominant as Darrelle Revis. Not only was he just as dominant, his dominance helped turn his defense into a Super Bowl winning team and a Super Bowl contending team. At the height of Darrelle Revis's prime, yeah, he won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. But that's Tom Brady, bro. Stop playing with me. Stop playing. And I'm not taking nothing away from him. But he didn't turn, while he turned the Jets, I'm thinking about his time with the Jets. Even though you could say Darrelle Revis was still in his prime pretty much, in the back end of his prime with the Patriots. Either way, I'm not taking nothing away from Darrelle Revis. I think he had one of the greatest runs I had ever seen from a cornerback that year he was with the Patriots anyways. I was like, yo, this motherfucker, and he one of the greatest businessmen in the NFL. I'm not taking shit away from Darrelle Revis. I would take Richard Sherman over Darrelle Revis for the simple fact I thought Richard Sherman was just as much a lot. Richard Sherman was so good, you started lying about the man on Twitter. And the only reason people didn't give him the same respect they gave Darrelle Revis at first, was because he talked more shit. And people, for some reason, love it when dudes don't talk about how good they are. You just got to be humble and act like you a trash can and just be grateful every time somebody else tell you how good you are. Don't tell yourself how good you are. Listen to everybody. No, fuck that. Richard Sherman told you how great he was, and he went out there and backed it up. Point blank, period. Like, motherfuckers be acting like Richard Sherman was some scrub or something. That's how Darrelle Revis act. Like, Richard Sherman was a scrub. And the motherfuckers who hop on his dick and start agreeing with him is the same type of individuals who think Richard Sherman was just some type of scrub who got lucky to get them numbers. Like, what? He was still great after he left Seattle, for one. On top of that, I promise you, if you take Richard Sherman off of those Seattle teams, as great as that defense was, they do not make that type of run. Because Aaron Rodgers refused to throw it to that man's side for a whole game. He was in Tom Brady's head. The GOAT, he got in that man's head. Almost beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in back-to-back Super Bowls, if not for, you know what happened in that Super Bowl. Stop playing. And he was one of the biggest reasons that team was what it was. Stop playing. Like, I don't know how y'all choose it. It's just so crazy. Like, it's no way you look at Richard Sherman and think to yourself, yeah, this was some average cornerback. No, his numbers are stupid. And helped get another team to a Super Bowl when he was. It's no coincidence that the year that the San Francisco 49ers got to the Super Bowl, that was a great defense, and Richard Sherman was once again having a great Pro Bowl. A multi-time All-Pro Bowl player. Like a multi-time All-Pro player, Obviously, we know he done made multiple Pro Bowls. Super Bowl champion. Should have been a multi-Super Bowl champion. Look at the Super Bowls this man lost. Pat Mahomes had to make a crazy play, and Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll had to make a dumbass play for him not to be a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Do you know how hard it is for a cornerback to make this type of difference? I mean, the last cornerback that made this type of difference on championship level teams was Deion Sanders, probably. And to go back to see cornerbacks that made this type of difference, period, like just this type of no, I didn't mean Deion. I meant Darrelle Revis. So it's crazy to me that Darrelle hate this man so much. Like, I just feel like it's just either way. The thing about these certain players, like a Pat Mahomes, a Tom Brady, a Aaron Donald, these are generational talents who are not even just that they're generational, they're the best at their positions. So I can respect them being ranked at a certain point. I'm not even truly mad at Davante, because I do think Davante Adams should be a top 10 player. Because now listen, this is an interesting one. I think Davante Adams is the best receiver in NFL. I would take Justin Jefferson first. I would rank Devontae Adams higher. I would draft Justin Jefferson first. Probably makes no sense whatsoever. But Justin Jefferson, to me, is going to be the best receiver in the NFL. This motherfucker is a stud. I hope he figure out a way not to have to stay in Minnesota, because I want him to go play with a quarterback that can actually use him to help them get to a Super Bowl. I want him to be the piece that get a team to a Super Bowl. He ain't never coming to Baltimore because Baltimore would never pay up the price to get him. So that's never going to happen. So I'm not even going to let that seep into my membrane. So I'm just praying maybe the Chiefs fuck around and figure out how to get him. I don't know. I just don't want him in Minnesota because they ain't winning no Super Bowl in Minnesota. But Devontae Adams I would have him in the top 10. So I'm not necessarily too mad about where he ranked. I just don't think he should be ranked over Pat Mahomes. Like, think about this. Pat Mahomes, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in football. Withstanding, I wouldn't pick him over Brady in a Super Bowl. So you got Brady, Mahomes. Aaron Donald is the best defensive player in football. Aaron Rodgers, he don't win the last 2 MVPs. You can argue he the best quarterback in football. I get that. Devontae Adams is the best receiver in football by most standards. TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. TJ Watt is not the best defensive player in football, for one. Then you can argue who is better at his position between him and some other guys. But specifically when you want to talk about him, him and Myles Garrett, and I'm not trying to shit on TJ Watt, I promise you I'm not. Because like I said, TJ Watt would be in my top. I would have TJ Watt probably at number 11. Jalen Ramsey, to me, because that's who we was talking about, and I didn't mean to just hop away from that. But it go into what I'm talking about. Jalen Ramsey is the best cornerback in the NFL, and there's no cornerback. Like, number 2 is nowhere near him, in my opinion, as far as the gap. On top of that, when you look at what Jalen Ramsey do, he legitimately cuts off an entire part of the field 99.9% of the time. Like, this, I cannot remember the last time, because we was talking about cornerbacks and I went on a little tangent about Darrelle Revis and Richard Sherman. But getting back to Jalen Ramsey, to me, the fact that Jalen Ramsey really got Darrelle Revis and Richard Sherman in him. He can take the ball away and he can lock you up any way you want to, just like Darrelle could, even though I think Richard Sherman locked dudes up too. But all great cornerbacks. I mean, Pat Peterson was an absolute fucking stud, bro. Pat P was a dog. But to me, right now, the gap between, just like it was when Richard was playing and when his prime and when D was in his prime, the gap right now between Jalen Ramsey, to me, and everybody else playing that position is just ridiculous. Like, it is just ridiculous. I'm being dead serious with you. Like, Jalen Ramsey is a stud. So, to me personally, while I understand number 9 is not really that bad of a ranking, it's hard for me to... One of the biggest problems I have on this list also is Jonathan Taylor being ranked number 5. Because this go back into me thinking, like, there's no way you can put this dude, just because of that year he had, he's not the best running back in the NFL. Derrick Henry is. Derrick Henry was rated at number 12. And even if you think Jonathan Taylor is number 5, he ain't that many spots higher than no damn Derrick Henry. And that's no disrespect to Jonathan Taylor, but it took him a couple weeks to even catch and pass Derrick Henry's numbers. And Derrick Henry was missing time because he was hurt. Derrick Henry is so very clearly the best running back in the NFL that I think Jonathan Taylor should have been ranked number 12. And Derrick Henry should have been ranked number 5. I can make an argument that Derrick Henry is that many spots better than Jonathan Taylor. However, the reason I wouldn't have had him actually at 5, I probably would have had him ranked lower than 5, but he would have been in my top 5. He probably would have been 5. Or he probably would have missed out on the top 5 by like being 6 or something. Either way, the only reason I don't have him specifically probably at 5 is because the value of a running back. To me, the only valuable running backs in the NFL, at least that were last year, was Jonathan Taylor. No, it wasn't even Jonathan Taylor because he didn't even get the Colts to the playoffs. So they still ultimately missed the playoffs. Derrick Henry's work that he did in the beginning of the season, plus how the Titans finished off, to me, Derrick Henry has been carrying his team to the playoffs the last couple years. It's no deny. Like, I look at Derrick Henry the way I look at what quarterbacks do for their teams and players like that. Derrick Henry has been such a difference maker at the running back position. So far and away more value to his team at that position than any other team's running back. It's no shot that just off of 1 year of this man being hurt, still putting up crazy numbers, because I believe he finished still in the top 10 in rushing numbers at the end of the season, even though he missed over half the season, I believe. It's no way that Jonathan Taylor, off of this one great season he just had, should be ranked over. That's what I'm saying. What's the consistency in this? Because if we just going off of like the previous year that they just had, then shit, Aaron Rodgers can have an argument to be number one. Like, I don't understand that. And then if we going off, like, to me, Jonathan Taylor just fucked this list up kind of at the top, because I don't even know if Jonathan Taylor would be switched to number 12 for me, because I wouldn't have Jonathan Taylor ranked higher than, because you got to understand, Derrick Henry is ranked higher than Josh Allen, who to me is a top 5 player right now. He ranked higher than Lamar Jackson, who is at 36. And if we talking about just based off of what people did last year, having Jonathan Taylor that high, Mark Andrews had the best tight end season of all the tight ends last year. He at 32. So what do we do? Like, and I'm not taking Jonathan Taylor over no fucking Cheetah. Cheetah at 15. You cannot make an argument with me right now that if you were given a draft, you would take Jonathan Taylor over number 11, Myles Garrett, number 9, Jalen Ramsey, number 12, Derrick Henry, number 13, Josh Allen, number 36, Lamar Jackson, number 32, Mark Andrews, and number 15, Cheetah. No fucking way. I don't even think you can make an argument that you would take him over number 8, Pat Mahomes, and no fucking shot in hell, but over 7, Devontae Adams, and 6, TJ Watt. How? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the running back position, but we know what the running back position is. Running don't win championships no more. Running backs being great haven't won a championship for a team in a while. The last couple seasons when the team that had the best running backs haven't even been in the Super Bowl no time like recently. So to me, just off of value of a running back alone, Jonathan Taylor way too high on this list. Like that, I ain't gonna lie, the Jonathan Taylor one is pretty wild to me, because for one, I can't get past the Pat Mahomes one, obviously, because I think Pat Mahomes is a top 5 player, and it's not even a question that he is a top 5 player. Like, to me, he top 3, and it's without question, because I'm not taking Aaron Rodgers over him, Brady, or Aaron Donald. But understand, matter of fact, where my pen at? Let me do this. Because number 1 for me would be Aaron Donald. Number 2 would be Brady. Number 3 would be Pat. Number 4 would be Rodgers. Number 5 would be Josh Allen. Now explain to me Josh Allen being at number fucking 13 and Jonathan Taylor, a running back who had a great season, even though I just told you all that shit I did about Derrick Henry's numbers, did not make the playoffs. Josh Allen put up them crazy ass numbers in the playoffs, and he ranked 13, and Jonathan Taylor is ranked at number 5. What logic? Like, what's the logic in putting him? And then when we talking about, his value to his team, Lamar Jackson had the Baltimore Ravens as the number 1 team in the AFC until he got hurt. And they got this motherfucker ranked at number 36. Oh, well, it's because of his recent production. Mark Henry had a crazy season last year, and he is ranked at number 32. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, to me, you can't even try to say, the playoff game he just had. The motherfucker didn't make the playoffs. Oh, well, it's because of Carson Wentz. What? Like, so, to me, that one's pretty crazy. Like I said, for me, it would be Donald, Brady, Pat, Aaron, Josh Allen. And Lamar Jackson would be number 5. I'm being dead ass with you. Matter of fact, let's keep going. And then I would have Lamar. Then I would have, this is where it get tricky and not turn it into a quarterback list, because it's about value. I dead ass think I would have Jalen Ramsey next. Like, to me, Jalen Ramsey have to be... Matter of fact, I would probably put Jalen Ramsey... No, I wouldn't put him over Lamar and Josh Allen. But to me, Jalen Ramsey, because the defense of And this is another reason why I think Cooper Kupp is rated too high at number 4. Because I love Cooper Kupp. Don't get it twisted. I think Coop is possibly a top 10, top 12 player. I can't imagine I would rank him anywhere lower than 12. But as valuable as I think Cooper Kupp is to his team, the defense is just as valuable to the Rams if you've been paying attention the last couple years. And what Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald do, no other players at their positions do. That alone, to me, puts Jalen Ramsey in a different league of his own. And because of that, I think he rated too low. Even though I understand he had 9, I can make an argument Jalen Ramsey should be higher than 9 because of just the pure value of what he does for a team. He was doing it with the Jags. He helped the Jags become damn near a Super Bowl fucking team. Like, to me, Jalen Ramsey is just on another fucking level. To me, I'm being dead ass, I would say he's the second best defensive player in football right now. Like, I'm looking at the best defensive players, right? And I get it. TJ Watt is a phenomenal player. I don't think if I'm drafting somebody, I'm taking him over Jalen Ramsey just because of what I know Jalen Ramsey. If we know what we know right now, and I understand TJ Watt, he's young, he can still get better. He is an unbelievable talent. It sound like I'm taking shots at TJ Watt. It's not. TJ Watt would be a top 10, 12 player for me also. But it is hard for me not to have Jalen Ramsey at number 7, bro. It's very hard for me not. Jonathan Taylor really fucked this list up, man. And then I'm not even mad that they got 2 receivers in this top 7 that they got right here. I might not have had them in the top 7. Obviously, I don't even have 2 receivers in my top 7. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. As great as Cooper Kupp was last year, now this could be my biasness coming out. I don't think it is because I love Coop. I don't know if Devontae... Well, you know what? I don't know if Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp is this many spots better than Justin Jefferson, but Justin Jefferson was ranked in the top 20. But fuck, man, Justin Jefferson is so good to me, bro. I'm not going to lie to y'all, bro. I think Justin Jefferson better than Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp. I'm not kidding, bro. And I'm not trying to hate on either one of them boys. I love Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp, bro. Man. It's very hard for me not to put Justin Jefferson at the highest receiver on my list. But I get it. Devontae Adams is him. Cooper Kupp just had an I'm him type of year. But man, Justin Jefferson is a fucking animal. But yeah, it's hard for me to have Taylor as high as he is on this list. Taylor would not have been in my top 10. And that's just because of the value of a running back in today's NFL. TJ Watt, like I said, I would probably have him and Myles Garrett ranked right near each other. Like, Myles, he would have been right under Myles Garrett. And I'm not even too mad at really him being ranked above Myles Garrett. I just don't think he's 6 and Myles Garrett 11. Like, that's... And I know it's only, 4-5 spots, but still. Myles Garrett, to me, is the better player, honestly. But you picking hairs, really, because they both studs. But, you know, at the end of the day, these lists was made to create conversations, and we just had a hell of a conversation about it. Overall, I'm not really too mad about the list, man. I don't take none of these lists fucking serious anyways. But, I mean, while I'm not mad at the list or nothing like that, because that's just ridiculous, Pat Mahomes being ranked at number 8 really is... Jonathan Taylor really fucks up this list. And me saying that, I know saying it so many times making it sound like I'm hating on Jonathan Taylor. I promise you I'm not hating on Jonathan Taylor. He had a phenomenal year last year, but there's so many arguments that I feel like I can make that would make it so. For one, I don't think he should be rated higher than Derrick Henry. I refuse. He should not be rated higher than Derrick Henry. It's just no way, no how. No fucking way, no how. Derrick Henry has been generational. And to me, he done been the only generational running back in the NFL for the last couple years. Like, what Derrick Henry has meant for that position, it really haven't meant shit because he the only one doing what he doing. But he done meant for the Titans, bro. You take Derrick Henry off of that Titans team for a whole year these last couple years. Just don't give him Derrick Henry and give him somewhere else. I'm telling. Could you imagine if a team that actually had a great quarterback had Derrick Henry in their backfield also? I'm just praying to the football guys that the Baltimore Ravens get Derrick Henry, bro. But with that, I appreciate y'all for joining me, man, on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. Give my Dukes a kiss on the forehead and a hug, because you only get one of those. Love her up while she here. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. Go out there, try to make somebody's day, somebody's afternoon and night way fucking doper than it already is, man. I love y'all. Thank y'all for clicking. Like, subscribe, share, if you will. Please, I would appreciate it. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.